something as and having that like shared in the narrative of your company, your business, yourself, and as an individual. Um, so let's talk about all these roles that you've connected with over the
Yeah.
years, right? So your work has moved through media, relationships, bold living. That's where we intersected years ago. Capital, narrative, strategy. What's the deeper thread that connects it all?
That's a great question, and it took me a really long time to figure it out, actually. The last 2 years, I've been thinking, like, what do I have to really say to the world? What's valuable? Who am I today? What really moves me? What's in data-esque terms? What's my
Hmm.
gift that moves me that I can give with authenticity
Hmm.
that feels important to me and can actually have an impact? And it took me a while. And what it came down to this phrase, tell a better story.
Hmm.
So I have a Substack,
Hmm.
which I hope we can invite everyone to.
Absolutely.
It's, I believe, substack.com/Adam Gilad.
Hmm.
And it's relatively new. And the idea is, I call it tell a better story is the theme.
Hmm.
So there's really three elements. The first is tell a better story
Hmm.
to inside to yourself. And this is the kind of stuff you're so good at.
Hmm.
What are the stories, the myths that you tell yourself about yourself? How do you speak to yourself?
Hmm.
What are the habits of self-talk that you
Hmm.
do? Who do you say you are as an identity? I teach creative writing, and I call it spiritual autobiography. And we
Hmm.
haven't talked about this, but that's an element of what I do. The first thing I do is have people write their life story in 3 minutes, and then they read it aloud and they laugh and they cry, and then I say, "That's great. Now do it again, but you can't repeat a single person or place. Go." Right, and they write it again,
Wow.
and
Wow.
then they laugh. They read it. It's usually a little bit deeper. They laugh and they cry. I say, "That's fantastic." Again, no repeating anything, and it like look at me with fear because how do I do that? Then you realize that these are just all stories you tell about who you are, your
Hmm.
identity. Very
Hmm.
fungible. So, what are the stories you tell yourself? That's number one. What are the stories you tell the world, which is kind of the
Hmm.
business stuff that we do?
Hmm.
And then, what's the story our culture is telling itself? We haven't gotten into this, but I just was a lead researcher on a book on CCP, Chinese policy of unrestricted warfare against the West and against the United States.
Hmm.
Little different subject here, but it's related.
Hmm.
And part of it is cognitive warfare. It's like how do you destroy a culture's ability to think, which we see on the streets, these protests,
Yeah.
pro Hamas and pro jihadi protests, which make me crazy, and the kind of mind destruction. It's literally called cognitive warfare.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
so what?
happening on a lot of levels, especially marketing and media
Oh
and
my God,
ads and
everywhere!
what
Right. That's the
social
one that.
dilemma talks about a lot of that too. That Netflix.
Yes,
Fascinating.
yes. So Jonathan Haidt is another leader in this. Gad
Yes.
Saad just wrote an amazing book called
Mm.
Suicidal Empathy.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and it's all about imbalance. So, what are the stories we tell ourselves? What are the stories we tell the world? And what's the story we're telling ourselves as a culture, which is really
Mm.
important to me? We got little kids, man.
Yes.
Do we believe in liberty? Do we think George Washington and Abraham Lincoln statues should be taken down? Thomas Jefferson should be thrown out because he had slaves in his time. Not a good thing, by the way, obviously. But like, what are the values we actually value about our story as a culture? An
Yes.
imperfect culture for sure,
Yes.
but
Yes. All
certainly,
of it.
in my
Yeah.
view, worth saving
Mm.
versus the other cultures that want to take us over.
100%.
So
Yeah.
that's part of what I do. So
Mm.
I call it tell a better story. It has those three elements: inner story, outer story, cultural story. The second one is live a better story, which is
Mm.
you and I are aligned on that. That's the kind
Mm.
of personal work and growth. And then finally, make a better world. So tell a better story, live a better story, make a better world. That's what my podcast is about. That's what my Substack is about. That's what I think about every day. And of course, I have a 15-day-old child. So I think about this a lot. Like, where are we going culturally?
Yeah. I think it's very vital, right? And very lines with like mission for my business: make the day better, make each other better.
There you go.
Keeping it
The
simple,
reason we're
right?
friends.
Yeah. Right, live a better story, and if we do that on a daily basis, better story than yesterday, even if it's not perfect, things progress forward, things move forward, and that's really important. Forward progress is really vital for anything and everything we do. The worst thing to do is to like status quo, like to just be the same, right? Right, and
Stasis is death.
yeah, yes,
It's the hero's journey. Stasis is death. You've got to break
mhm,
out.
mhm,
Something agitates. You have to break out of stasis.
yes,
Death
yes,
is stasis,
yes,
right? For a company, for an individual, for a relationship, it
yes.
goes right through.
it's so valuable to be uncomfortable in life. It's so
Yeah.
important. And people get too comfortable, especially with all the noise out there and media and news,
Mhm.
and it's vital. Like we're in that world, that arena, because we're marketers and we're storytellers, the things we do, and it's really imperative to protect our minds, especially for
It's
our kids,
true.
as you mentioned.
And I'll say one thing about that. Just a teacher once said to me, um, he says, "No such thing as a comfort zone." People talk about the comfort zone because comfort zone is actually very uncomfortable for most people. It's just a familiar zone,
Mm,
right? So it's
mm,
worth remembering.
absolutely. What are some rituals and routines you embrace each day to getting comfortable? What are some things you do to challenge yourself each day? Um, Morning, evening. I know you mentioned you go to bed 9 o'clock now these days, which is really cool. Yeah,
What do I do to discomfort myself?
yeah.
Um, it's so funny. My mind first went, "What do I do to ground myself?" And that's
Mm,
to hug my children, talk to them, tell them how much I
mm,
love them, what I admire about them, how happy I am to be their
mm.
parents. That's like a constant. Um, I hike first thing in the morning before anyone gets up. I live in the mountains here,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
between what's left of the Palisades, which burned down in Malibu. Um,
Mm.
but that's
I
really important.
remember years ago too, you were in the place, you were like in the forest fires, you were like moments, you were concerned, you're really concerned that you would lose it all, like
Oh yeah,
everything you've
oh
built
yeah,
in like for
oh yeah.
decades, right?
Well, just
And
physical
then
shit. I mean,
yeah,
the
yes,
fire was literally stopped. I'm looking
I
across the
remember
street. They
I
stopped the
remember
fire
that.
across the street.
I remember that,
That was
yeah.
just a year and a half ago, by the way.
Yeah, wow.
And we went hiking for my birthday last week, but 20 guys, and this green, beautiful
Mm,
panorama ahead of us was black 18
wow.
months ago. I have
Yeah.
pictures of it. So
Mm,
life renews. In terms of discomforting myself,
mm,
I
mm,
think it's just learning. I put myself in groups like you've created success circles. I belong to masterminds, entrepreneurs groups, reading. I listen to podcasts that break my brain, and I guess that's it for now. I'm pretty much in nesting mode, right, with two
yes,
little children. So
yes.
on a sort of personal adventure level, which I really like, um, that's kind of on hold for the month, for a couple of months anyway. But
Mhm.
mostly it's really reading and listening to really people smarter than me about things that I don't know about, and making sure that I don't get overcome by stasis. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not 30 and I have two little kids, and so
yeah,
keeping my mind and body alert are obviously huge for me.
right, and what a gift they are to keep you engaged, alert, right? It's
Oh yeah.
so great. I'm grateful to having kids. Just keeps me, engaged in life, present, practicing my empathy, my love, um, generational impact. That's really important. So all of that is really entwined. I really acknowledge you for just building what you built over the years, impacting people, men, organizations, companies, startups, all of it. And it's all storytelling. It is
It's all
all
storytelling.
it's all have people feel. It's all about being bold, one step at a time. We'll certainly will mention your Substack channel and any other way people can contact you. And your website, adamgalai.com, right? That's there
I'm
too.
there. LinkedIn is great. LinkedIn is probably best. I find I'm there more now. It's more interesting than the other sites to me. I mean, dancing girls in midriffs was very interesting to me when I was single 20 years ago. Not really that interesting now. So LinkedIn's a great place to find me. I'm around.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on this. We'll get this out to our audience. You can tap into the summary, the notes, the mind map. We also do a secondary podcast out of this too. We'll pull out the nuggets, including Adam's some of his rituals he mentioned at the end. Momentumtips.com for that. Tap into this, his greatness, his genius. LinkedIn. We'll have all the links on to rulesforsuccess.com. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate the conversation today.
Always good talking to a bigger nerd than myself.
I am indeed a nerd. Thanks.